What is up, guys? Welcome back to the NALF YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Nick Alfieri, aka NALF. I'm an American living in Germany. I play American football here. So a couple weeks ago, I did a collaboration video with Felicia, aka German Girl in America. Felicia is a German girl from Munich who now lives in America, Cincinnati, Ohio, and has a YouTube channel of her own. Talks about her experience in the States being a German, cultural differences between the USA and Germany. Very similar to what I do on my YouTube channel. We basically have the exact opposite experiences. So like I said, we did that collaboration video a couple weeks ago. It was really fun and awesome. It seemed to be received well. There was a lot of comments of people asking us to do it again, and we had a lot to talk about, so we decided to do it again. So, part one of this conversation is available on Felicia's channel. The link to that is in the description of this video, so go on over there, check out that video, her channel, subscribe to her channel as well. It's a great YouTube channel. I highly recommend you do that. I really enjoyed talking to Felicia. We have so much to talk about, you know, obviously Germany and the USA and our experiences going to different countries, talking about each other's homes and all this stuff, and talking about YouTube stuff. And so we have a lot of shared experiences, so it's great to talk to her. I really enjoyed it. If you guys enjoy it, please give this video a thumbs up so we know that we should maybe do it again. So guys, without further ado, here is part two to a conversation between NALF and German Girl in America. Felicia.
Yeah.
Oh, this might go hand in hand with something that I still can't get fully used to, is Germans and staring. In my experience and all of my other American friends' experiences here in Germany is that German people are very blatant with staring at people. Pretty uncomfortable. I've tried to get used to it over the course of a couple of years, but still not that used to it. What do you have to say about this?
It's true, first of all. Like, I know it's true, and people have always said that, like, in all of those culture comparison videos. I've heard it a million times, but after living in the States for a while and coming back to Germany, I totally noticed it myself, too.
Okay.
And I'm sure I did it in the States when I first got here without even noticing it. And I don't have an explanation for it. I don't know why we do that. I don't understand it either.
Yeah, I don't, because it's like, if something is catching my attention or something, I'll obviously, of course, look. But like if they look back or something, I'll try and make it seem like I wasn't staring, or I won't just continue staring like this. I think that's usually typical for Americans. But here so often, and like recently as last week, I'll catch somebody kind of staring over, and I'll look at them, and then they'll just stare back and double down and just continue to stare, and it becomes very uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I think it may have to do with the whole individual versus collective society thing a little bit, possibly. I'm not sure, but I could see it be connected to that because we feel like the other person doesn't have the right not to be looked at. Like, I don't know if it has to do with that, but they're like in public and we can look at them if we want to. Also, Germans like to get involved in other people's lives, as we kind of talked about last time. Yeah. So I think it may be connected to that. And also I think Germans would definitely not call it staring. Like a German who just naturally does it, we would just call it looking. Like it's just normal for us. We just look at other people. Yeah. And the whole like staring back and not looking away thing, that almost is like as soon as someone like looks back at you, you don't want to show weakness. So then you like don't look away.
It's a power move. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's a power move.
I like your theory there that it could maybe have to do with that, you know, if you're out in public, you don't have the right to not be looked at. You know, this is, you know, part of being in public. This is what's going to happen. I would also say I've learned that it's not like an aggressive thing. In the States, a lot of these situations, if somebody is like staring at me the way I've been looked at here, I would perceive it as like an act of hostility. But here I've realized it's not ever, or rarely ever that. It's more of just curiosity or just looking around, you know?
Yeah, it's just scanning your environment, kind of scanning the people around you. But also like, I'm not sure if I said that in our last conversation, but I've definitely said it before in one of my videos that I personally think that Germans are a little bit more judgy. So I think also a lot of Germans, when they do that, especially on like the subway or public transportation or something, and they're just looking at other people, I think they're kind of like judging them or like, do I like what they're wearing? Would I buy those shoes too? Kind of like that a little bit too sometimes.
I believe that. I certainly believe that.
I wish we didn't do that in Germany, honestly. I like it a lot better how it is in the States.
Are you guilty of this?
Not anymore. Like, I definitely used to do it, and I'm sure I do it more whenever I'm in Germany, just because like you adapt to your environment a little bit. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Did you start doing it a little?
Actually, yeah, I do it now a little bit.
Yeah, I think you kind of do it because other people do it. So I think I do it more in Germany, but I'm more aware of it now. And since I don't even like it myself, I try not to do it anymore.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I'd agree with your point. You kind of adapt to where you are a little bit, because now I don't feel as uncomfortable if I'm like looking around and somebody catches me looking their direction. I don't feel the need to kind of look away or not have an uncomfortable situation here. So I've adapted a bit. I'm becoming a German starer.
Damn. Just don't bring it back to the States.
I won't. I'll get punched.
Okay, I have like a similar, or not, it's not a similar question, but this is also a big topic for me as a German, because I hear this all the time. The Germans supposedly don't have any humor, and we kind of talked about that last time, that you said that's a wrong stereotype. But also, there's a stereotype that a lot of people seem to believe that Germans don't understand sarcasm. And I strongly disagree with that. Like, in my experience, Germans use sarcasm and irony so much more than Americans. And like, I could see how that maybe developed, because obviously when Americans speak to Germans, it's usually in English, so maybe there's like a language barrier. But I use sarcasm here sometimes, and people don't understand it here. Like, I would say Americans don't understand sarcasm, because like I use it on a daily basis with my German friends. Like, if they ask me, how was your day? I'll just like, for fun, I'll say, oh my God, it was so awful. Like, I like got an A in school, and then I got an award, and then like I went to the park and tanned in the sun. So those kind of things I would use on a daily basis. And just the other day, I met someone and they learned that I'm from Germany, and I told them that I have been living here for 3 years, and they asked me, oh, so do you like it here then? And I just naturally responded, oh no, I hate it here. I think it's awful. Which was obviously sarcasm, because why would I live here if I hated it? I mean, I said it like in a very over-the-top tone too. But the person was like, wait, what, really? And I was like, no, that was just a joke. So what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, okay, so I would say, let me ask you, when you use sarcasm then, do you attempt to make it obvious by changing the tone of your voice and things like this, or are you deadpan?
I think it's the second. I think that's like a German thing. Probably I mean, not always though. I just sometimes things wouldn't be funny if you just said them in a funny tone. I think sometimes things are only funny if you say them dead seriously.
Yeah, sure.
So I think I do the second one more often. But I do the other thing too. I sometimes make it pretty clear.
See, I would say that would probably my opinion on what is the largest difference when it comes to sarcasm. I think, in my experience, when German people are using sarcasm, they don't change their tone at all, and they say it in the exact same way as if they're serious. I know when I'm using sarcasm, try to make it pretty obvious. Like, if I walk in the door, my room is like, hey, how was your day? And I'm like, oh, bro, it was awful.
But that was my experience, my example too, that I would say I totally overdo it, so it should be obvious. But
and just like I said last time, I think that Germans have a great sense of humor, and I don't know where the stereotype comes from.
So you don't agree that Germans don't understand sarcasm?
No, I don't agree. I think that when Germans use sarcasm themselves, more often in my experience, it's a bit more subtle, and it's not as over the top as like when Americans use it. But
yeah, which honestly, in my interpretation, would mean that we understand it even better because we use it in a more subtle way. I don't know.
Because we need like a very obvious tone, like, oh, you're being sarcastic. Okay.
Yeah, I don't get it, because I get this all the time, like from Americans, that when I meet someone new, that they say something funny or something sarcastic, and I obviously get it, and then they feel the need to explain it to me, and they're like, oh, this was American sarcasm, by the way. And I just feel offended by that a little bit.
Hey, this is American sarcasm. I know you don't get it.
This is what we do here, just to teach you.
Yeah, no, I'm on your side. I believe in the Germans' ability to understand and deliver sarcasm.
I'm glad to hear that.
I support you.
Cool.
So, Felicia, have your friends and family noticed any personality changes in you since you've lived in the States?
I feel like I should probably do a survey one day because I get that question a lot, or I actually also talk about this question quite a lot, and I've never actually asked them. Like, I don't think they have noticed a personality change just because nobody has ever told me so, and Germans are usually very direct, so I think they would have told me. I think there is like definitely a subtle personality change that they have noticed, but nothing like, oh my God, you're a totally different person or something like that. I think it's just some of them think that the US is definitely the right place for me. They think that this is a place where I can develop in the best possible way and live like my real personality. I think some of them have told me in certain conversations that I have become more laid back a little bit and a little bit more positive. Nice. But I've really never like asked them, hey, has my personality changed? What about you?
Just like you, I haven't really asked them, so I should probably do a survey at some point. I would say like the one thing that they probably would notice is that I'm a bit more critical of the US in certain things. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the past, I was just like, America's the best at everything. What are you talking about? We're the best at everything.
Yeah.
And now, like, after living abroad and looking at my home from an outside perspective, I have some different things to say about the States that just have kind of, or since my perspective has changed a bit. So that's probably the one thing they say that I would be a little bit more critical of some things from back home. But overall, I don't think so. I hope I don't like. I hope I haven't changed so much. Guys, I hope I didn't change so much.
Yeah, well, maybe now they can tell you. Maybe now my family and friends can tell me too.
Tell your family, hey family, just comment on this YouTube video if I've changed, okay?
Yeah, then it doesn't have to be awkward. Just comment on my YouTube video.
Make sure you give a thumbs up too. Love you guys.
Yeah, but the thing with being critical, I'm definitely like that too. Like, I've always been critical, and I've always also been critical about Germany and Germans, but I'm definitely more critical, and I'm sure that this is something that annoys a lot of them, because every time I'm back, there's a lot of things that I criticize nonstop. I'm like, oh, people wouldn't do this in the US, they wouldn't do this, this thing. Like, I wish Germans were more like this, and I'm sure that can be a little bit annoying. I try not to do it as much, but it's everywhere, and it's hard not to comment on it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I totally agree. And I bet, yeah, it's probably a little bit annoying, like when we come back to our homes, we're like, oh, well, you know, in the States they do it like this. It's actually way better. Yeah. I'm like, you know, in Germany, nobody, like, you know, drives really slow in the left lane. Oh, my gosh, so much better to drive in Germany. And then my brothers are probably just like, shut up. You live in Germany. We get it. Like,
yep.
But we'll send out those surveys for our personalities to everyone that we know.
Please fill them out.
Okay. So, Felicia, what is something or a couple things that you miss about Germany when you're in the U.S., and then also a couple things that you miss about the U.S. when you're back home in Germany?
Okay. So things that I miss about Germany are mostly food related. So obviously this is what every German is going to tell you. I miss German bread. And I know you can get certain bread in the US, but it's not that I just miss like having bread itself. I just miss that it's everywhere. I miss that there's so many different types. I miss belegte Semmeln or belegte Brötchen as like the go-to fast food thing. Yeah, like definitely bread, also dairy products. I personally don't think the US is good at dairy products like yogurt, everything cheese related. Just think a lot better in Germany and in Europe. Like even with mozzarella, it's in Germany we usually have like the Italian style mozzarella. We have France right next to us with good cheese. So yeah, I kind of miss that. And then what I also miss is kind of like outdoor activities, which you can do a lot of things outdoors in the US, obviously, but Germans just tend to spend more time outside in their everyday life, not just on the weekends when they plan a trip. And I kind of miss like walking places and also cycling. Like I miss taking my bike to get to places, which I know you can do in some American cities, but not in Cincinnati, really.
People go crazy cycling in Germany. Like today out, I mean, it's a nice day here and it's a holiday, and it just so many people biking. Just families, groups of people, just
Yeah, and also as soon as the weather gets nice in Germany, it's like everyone goes outside. Like they're like they force themselves to go outside because we don't have great weather all the time in Germany. So as soon as it's nice out, everyone feels the need to go outside and enjoy it as much as possible. And I don't really see that here, and I sometimes miss that a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree. You know, I feel like there's some like Americans, if we're generalizing, are more apt to sit inside and watch TV on a sunny day than a German person would, for sure.
Well, one more thing. Sometimes I miss how people in Germany generally can be a little bit more reliable.
Yeah.
That's like a tricky thing to say because obviously there's people in Germany who are not reliable and there's very reliable people in the US, but just overall that's sometimes something that I miss a little because it's just normal in Germany, more normal in Germany to be very reliable and to commit, as we said, and to follow through.
I would definitely say that, yeah, like if a German person says that they're going to do something or have a plan or will be somewhere, you know, you can trust it. And it's a little bit weird because obviously I'm American and I'm probably guilty of some of this sometimes, just like we talked about. But
yeah, and I've become like this a little bit in the US, like since other people do it to me, that they sometimes bail or change their opinion or change plans, then I do it too because I feel like I can.
Yeah.
And then I sometimes bring it back to Germany, which isn't a good thing.
yeah, that's not good. You can only do that in the States.
Yeah, I know. I need to remember that. But the other way around, like what I miss about the US whenever I'm in Germany is the whole convenience thing that we talked about last time. Like I miss being able to just go to the store on a Sunday or go to the store late at night. I miss the whole being spontaneous thing. Like I really have to hit my friends up before I even arrive in Germany to let them know when I'm in Germany and to ask them when they're free to hang out, and then we plan it 3 weeks ahead and we already make it a reservation for brunch or whatever.
Right.
And related to food, I kind of miss Mexican food every time I'm in Germany.
That's a great point. That's going to be my probably number one answer.
Oh, okay. Well then, okay, so one thing that you miss then is Mexican food.
Yeah, Mexican food. I mean, people are going to hate this answer, but I'm obsessed with Chipotle. And
well, I think there's one Chipotle in all Germany.
There is. It's in Frankfurt. I've been to it, and it's not as good as real Chipotle in the States. Okay. I made a video about it, and I complained that it doesn't taste the same. But yeah, so I'd say Mexican food, but more specifically Chipotle. And then the convenience thing is just, it's really nice. Like I'll say today's a holiday in Germany, and you know, I've kind of forgot about that. I went down to go get a pretzel and a cappuccino at the cafe, and I was like, it's a holiday, everything's closed. It's like, you know, in the States, this doesn't sound great, but you know, even on Christmas Day, I can go to Starbucks, and you know, it's not great for the people working, but it is nice to just have that freedom and flexibility and convenience. That's probably something that I miss the most. It's just like that convenience. It's nice. You know what? This is a little bit cliche, but and I hate to be this guy, but German beer it's just so much better. I really don't drink that much, especially when I'm home in the States. And I had been in Germany for a couple of years, and then I came back, and I was at a NBA game, and I ordered a Bud Light, and I couldn't even drink it.
Yeah.
It was just terrible.
Bud Light is the worst.
Yeah. I've become such a beer snob since being in Germany, so I would definitely say I miss German beer when I'm in the States.
So what's your favorite German beer then?
Starts with an F.
Oh, Franziskaner.
Yes. I can't say it. How do you say it?
Franziskaner.
Franziskaner Hefeweizen.
Oh, perfect.
Nice. Okay. I also like how the culture surrounding alcohol is much more. And you just made a video about this, didn't you? Is just more mature and casual. Like, you know, I was walking around town today before we had our chat here, and I stopped in the beer garden and I had a Hefeweizen, and it's just not a big deal at all.
So jealous.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Great vibe.
I mean, first of all, there aren't really any beer gardens here, but second of all, nothing is open yet. So.
Oh yeah. Well, things are slowly starting to open up here. So just that, I think, kind of like that attitude towards drinking and alcohol. It's better.
Yeah. I like that answer, actually. I mean, I'm sure there's other things too, but I can totally relate.
Okay, good.
All the questions.
Did we get them all? All right, guys, that is it for this second conversation that we've had. Like I said, if you haven't checked out part 1 on Felicia's channel, check that out. Link is in the description. Yeah, guys, let us know if you want us to do this again. And if you do, feel free to leave a comment with some topics or questions you'd want us to address or talk about if we do this conversation again. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day. I will see you